I was shooting in LA for the Santa Fe film that Sunday, and I was like driving back to Santa Monica at like 11 at night, and I was like, okay, tomorrow we go camping. And then I got home and I realized like nothing was prepared for it, and I was like, my brain just short-circuited. And I just was like, I cannot live a day more without going, like, again, typical, but like going to nature. Like, not so much nature for me, it's like literally desert. Like, I need that like light, that feeling, that smell, you know, because I lived 10 years in it.
Oh, so yeah.
So even though I'm not from the desert at all, but like it's like just really speaks to me, and I think I just really needed that. So I had a full-on meltdown, which is great because then it actually made space for, and like 2 or 3 like kind of changes came out of it, like very practical changes, but that were very useful.
Hey everyone, Reyna Torres here, and I'm super excited that we have arrived at season 2 of the Women Creating Magic podcast. I run my own creative studio, and I wanted to create a platform for amazing women to have real conversations about our experience in the entertainment industry, and just talk about that moment that we decided to take control of our lives as women. A safe and open space to sit down comfortably with a cup of tea or a glass of wine to relax and have an open conversation about their experiences as women in the entertainment industry. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and leave a review because all of that will really help us out and keep us going. French-Canadian film director, writer, and cinematographer Marie-Michele Jasmin-Belisle is one of my closest friends and colleagues, and I can't wait for you to hear her story and her amazing ventures. Here's Marie-Michele Jasmin-Belisle. But it's L-E-N-E?
Okay.
No, mine is M-A-R-L-Y-N. So when you actually say it, it's Marlin.
Oh.
People say Marlin.
Like Marlene Dietrich.
Yeah, or Marlin the fish.
Right. Well, that's is that the Marlin or Marilyn? No, that's Marlin.
Marlin.
Okay, right.
Yeah, it's Marlin.
Huh.
So people, when they say my name, they
right.
spell Marlin. But I'm kind of happy because Reyna, my grandmother, gave me that name because I was the first grandchild.
Nice.
And then my mom gave me my middle name, but pronouncing it in Spanish, Marlene, and in English it's Marlin. My mom was not going to name me that. She was going to name me Petunia.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I would have been Petunia Torres.
I mean, that's cute.
It is, but at the time I was like, Mom, I can't believe you're going to call me
Reyna's
Petunia.
awesome, though.
Petunia. It's like, hey, my name is Petunia Torres. Hello. But my best friend would say, like, you're so funny how you would introduce yourself when you were a kid. And I was like, how would I do it? Because I remember she's like, it would be, my name is Reyna Marlene Torres Rivera Sea. And I was like, oh, shit, for real? She's like, yeah, you used to say that whole thing. I was
love
like, damn.
it. That's awesome that you did that.
Yeah,
That's
because
awesome.
the Sea is from my grandmother's side, my mom's side.
Yeah.
Her mom. And Rivera is my mom's dad.
Yeah. In French, we do the same thing. You have you say both the woman and the man's last names, not just the man, you know?
No, and it's funny. I was talking to Anthony. I was like if we were to get married, I kind of want us to hyphenate both of our names. Mm-hmm. Like you take my name and I take your name.
My husband was going to do that. The only reason why he didn't, first of all, he's a bit lazy and he didn't want to do all the paperwork, but also because my name is already hyphenated. So he was like,
so it's like
I'm going to have
hyphenated?
it 3 times. Yeah. So he would have had 3 names.
How would it be? Okay, I
don't think it would work.
I got to hear it. How would it sound if it was?
Well, his last name is Kohler, which is German. So Jasmin-Belisle Kohler. It's like, it just doesn't really work, you know? Like, so that's why I was like, and I'm sure as hell not taking his name. Because, well, I never met anybody from his dad's side of his family. His dad's passed away. I don't know exactly what happened. There's just like no connection there. And then he also just found out that his grandfather was adopted. So actually, Kohler is not really his last name. So he actually has no idea who he is.
No way.
Yeah, we got him a DNA kit for Christmas. So we're gonna find out at least where he doesn't even know what blood is in his body. Like it's wild. Wow. Like I can tell you, my ancestors crossed over in 1708. Like I know exactly who he was. Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah, because
for him it's different.
The Sea is Spaniard from Spain, and there's actually a village in Spain called Sea, and we have family there.
Fun.
Yeah, so
when
I
you're
know
gonna go?
that in my cousin went there and found them.
Oh my god!
So we actually have family there, and he's told me like, if you ever want to visit them and meet them, let me know because I have their information. So I was like, oh shit, I actually have like people, and it's a village called Sea. What?
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then my dad's side, the only thing I know is that my great grandma is Jewish.
Oh wow.
Yeah, something like that. Because I met her when I was a kid, and she was
You
like this
met
little
her?
old.
Wow.
I had met her, and
So
I don't.
did she fly?
I didn't.
Flee the Holocaust?
I don't know, because
Maybe.
she did not speak Spanish or
Okay.
English.
Oh.
And I remember at that age, I didn't understand what she was saying. And at that
course.
age, I knew English and Spanish.
Yeah.
And she was like this little old lady with curly white hair and a little poodle dog thing.
Mm.
And I remember she was scary looking to me. She was just scary looking to me. I was like, oh, you look different. You look like an old white lady.
Hmm.
And I found out that was my grandfather's mom.
Wow.
And then to find out they were from somewhere around the region over there. I'm not sure where. And I remember my grandfather speaking to her at a certain language, and I was just like really like, what the heck's going on? And then later on, my mom told me, oh yeah, your grandfather's not like from El Salvador. Like he's, like first he was like religion wise he's Jewish, and then converted to Christianity. So
okay.
yeah, and then from my mom's side, her dad is native in El Salvador.
Nice.
So I know there's something there too. I actually want to do the whole.
You should.
The whole thing.
I'm excited.
I want me and Anthony to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
I want to know because he has Native American with him. So.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's start with like how did you come about doing what you're doing now? Yeah.
Okay.
It's already been. I mean, so whatever we talked about, he'll put it in there.
We got you eating.
Oh, great now.
So let's start with like how do you pronounce your name?
So it's Marie-Michele Sophie-Adélaïde Jasmin-Belisle.
There you go. Bye,
So
guys. I'm going to have to pronounce that when you guys listen to the... Well, you guys already listened to the intro, so I said it.
Yes.
I'm going to
You
have
did
to...
it.
I'm better... Yeah, because the intro is going to show... It's going to start first, and I'm like, I said it, people. Don't butcher me.
You'll be okay. We'll
So how did you start doing what you're doing now?
Well, I guess my parents, I mean, I don't necessarily know if I would really include that in like the starting story, but like I did have access to a video camera when I was in high school, and I did do like little film projects for school type thing.
But that's usually how it starts, because you go back and think about like,
yeah,
well, because that's the elephant in the room. That's the catalyst of like what kind of like, okay, it was there.
But I wrote first. I wrote and did music and did visual arts first. So yeah, and even I would say, like I was gonna either go to
like in high school or in college or.
Oh no, prior to that.
Oh, no
like when I was
way.
in elementary school. Like in high school, I already was like, I had my own column in the local newspaper. Like I was very like.
Damn.
Yeah, writing was like a big thing.
In elementary, yeah, that's really cool.
And then music, and yeah, I did like, essentially I did, and then dance. I did like well, I guess this is the true story. I did every different art form. And then when it got time to make a choice for college, I was like, well, geez, which one do I choose? And my music teacher was like, well, you could consider a career professionally as a musician. I used to play the bass. And he said, but you're gonna have to make a choice, and it can only be that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't
so
like
hard.
choose. Yeah, I can't like let go of everything else I'm doing, because I was like writing poetry and like winning. Like okay, like it's high school, like but you're like winning little contests. It makes you feel good.
It
and,
did.
Like,
I did that when I was 11 years old. I won something, and I remember the teacher saying like, yeah, your poetry is like super deep, like to the point where I thought it was like a 20-year-old writing, and I was like, what, really? So I still write, but it's like once in a while when I'm feeling low, that's my cope. But yeah, that's pretty cool when you get awards and you get validated.
yeah, it's just
As a
like
kid,
exactly.
You're just like,
yeah, no, exactly. And both my parents are writers, and so obviously that apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But yeah, so I was doing a lot of different things, and like painting and drawing, and then so it was around the time of when you had to make your choice. So I was 15 years old, because in Quebec we have I'm French Canadian, so in Quebec we have a different educational system. So I graduated high school at 16, and so it's all like earlier than here, and then we
way earlier.
Yeah. And so at 15 you kind of have to make a decision, and so
That's so young.
yeah, but I don't know. I think it's good. I really think the rest of the world would benefit from it for so many reasons. I think it's because kids are so smart. I think especially now, it's like
They are. But see,
Yeah.
I think I have a different take on that, just because the system they have now, it would be better if it wasn't where you start early in the morning and then
that's a different discussion. But
that's
yeah,
a whole different discussion. And then
agreed with
kids,
that.
and then they have this curriculum where, where they need to start, and it's like not all of them are there. My daughter, very smart, but for me, it's sort of like the system they have here. They have it where, okay, this is where a 5-year-old should be at, and like not all 5-year-olds are
For sure.
in that standard. But I do agree in, like, if they were to change the timeline and change the curriculum, it would be so much better. Like the way that my 3 boys studied, because they're autistic, if they used that fundamental how they did it, oh my god, it would work so much better for everybody else. But they don't. For some reason, the special needs, they cater to the child. And I'm like, if they do that to like the regular students, oh my god, you guys, it would be such a different story. Because that's what I had to do with my daughter. I had to pull her out from school. I had to homeschool her for a year because they were just like, well, she's getting frustrated that she can't do this and she can't do that. I'm like, well, everyone has their time. Like, she doesn't mature. She's not there yet. It's frustrating. It was to a point where she was getting depression. When your daughter is 7 years old and she's getting depression, it is not nice, because all of a sudden she didn't want to go to school. She was crying. She didn't want to play with her toys at home anymore.
Dang.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little like, I would love for her to graduate 16 and get that out of the way, but that if the school caters, and again, where you came from, I'm pretty sure it's completely different.
Well, and also we graduated high school, then we have 2 years of college, and then we have 3 years of university, which is a different institution. So we actually have 3 different establishments that we go through. So here it's just high school and then university, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no in between.
No.
So we have this in between, which is
So college is
not the same as university. It's before university.
Is it sort of like is it considered the same as like community college here, or is it?
I don't know what community college is because I've never been to one, but it's a 2-year. You do choose. You have to declare a major. So I did film, so that was my film school sort of experience. So 16 to 18 years old, I was in film school, college, and then, but it's not the same price as university. So it's so much more affordable. And so if people change their mind midway through their college, then it's so easy to like rewire and be like, oh, I'm not gonna do theater after all. I'm gonna be a nurse, which.
That's how community college is cheaper,
Okay.
and it gives you more. I mean, you get your associates, but it gives you more flexibility to see what you want to do without worrying about university costs and stuff like that.
So for us, the college is only as a preparation to university. So if you don't go to university, then
See, that's funny you say that, because my son is 18, and I told him, okay, we're not going to go straight to university. You're going to have to do college, community college. And he had asked me why, and I was like, because you have to I told him, coming from high school in that structure and then jumping into college,
not
university,
everybody's ready.
it's very different. So I need you to do this first so you can get a hold of like understanding how college works. So I don't know, that's weird. Nobody told me that. I just did it automatically thinking, because my son is high functioning autism. So I was like, no, you're going to community college because first off, it's cheaper. Second of all, it gives you more of an opportunity to do your things and have it slowly. So you don't have to like, oh my god, I gotta finish this right here, or I have to worry about spending $20,000 a year for your tuition. So that's crazy. Our system should be like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
to
my
me it
God.
worked. I guess I was lucky that once I made a decision, then I stuck with it and it worked out. But like, yeah, so it was back to that. I was 15. It was time to pick, and I couldn't really just pick one thing. Like I was like,
No,
oh my
you have
gosh.
so many.
And then it was right when Romeo and Juliet came out, with the Baz Luhrmann version with DiCaprio and Claire Danes.
Yeah.
And I went to see it with my girlfriends because it's like the new DiCaprio film, and
Yeah,
we were
like,
all very into him at that point. Yeah, like post Basketball
Everybody's
Diaries.
going to watch him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so I watched the film, and at the end of it, I had like an actual epiphany where I realized that I wanted to be a film director, because seeing that film made me see how it really is conducting every art form. Like, you are doing the music. I mean, you're not yourself obviously playing the music. You could, but you are like artistically directing the music, the costumes, the sets, the tone, the story, the actors, the soundscape. Like, it's, so then I was like, I get to use everything I love,
in one spot,
in one quote unquote profession.
Yeah.
So I registered for film school, and that was it.
It's from Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, so thank you,
Did you like the director when he did Moulin Rouge?
I love all his films.
Elvis?
Yeah.
Nice.
Gatsby, Australia. Strictly Ballroom, his first film.
I have not watched that.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. I lived in Australia for a year when I was 17. I took a break from school like for 1 year, and I went to I didn't speak English at that point. I could not speak English for the life of me. So I did like a 1 year exchange to do like immersion so I could learn to speak it. Mm-hmm. And I chose Australia, and while I was there I met some people who had worked with him and his wife. And I asked like, oh, do you think like you could place me like to go work on like a set of his or whatever? And that's when they were prepping for Moulin Rouge. And they called, I think Catherine Martin, like his wife, called my home to say that she was sorry, but they had already wrapped shooting. But the fact that she actually called, I was like, oh my God, the best people. So exciting. Yeah. So yeah, no, he's my actual hero. Like,
oh my God.
No greater hero than him.
No way.
Yeah, I think he's a genius.
I do. Yeah.
It's not everybody's cup of tea, that being said.
It's not?
Yeah.
It's not?
Like love or hate, kind of.
See, okay, so when Elvis came out, the only reason, and I want to say it was me. It was my fault. Did love how everything turned out, because that's his style. But I came into knowing how the real Elvis is without having to come in with an open mind and say, this is a point perspective from the director, not all is true. And I came into it already knowing more negative information about Elvis. So when I was watching it, it was me thinking like, it's really good, I really do like it, but at the same time, like, why did I start watching this in a negative aspect? Like, I shouldn't have done that. But I did like it. I loved everything, because I do like Moulin Rouge, Romeo and Juliet, Gatsby. Like, I love all that stuff. Like, the way he directs, it's really great.
If you saw my films, you would never think that that's my favorite director, because it's so different. Like, my films are a lot more dark and like slow, and I don't know, it's very different. But somehow he just like, I think it's not so much the film itself, it's just the way that he creates like a whole world, He
does create a whole world. Yeah, he does. And that's the reason you got the...
Yeah, exactly.
So when you did that decision, where did that lead to you? You went to school?
Well, so yeah, I did. I put some feelers out. I was like, okay, who knows somebody, so I can, get some experience. And my first experience on set was Celine Dion music video. Yeah, the nicest person in the world. So that was cool. That was like first time like production PA, like production assistant, and running around. And actually my first task was bringing her bagels. And she was so funny, and it's very nice. Like, she's French Canadian as well, and
yes,
just
it kind of sucks what's going on right now with her. So when she made
she's got a health situation going on. Yeah, she's had a brilliant life and career, so I don't feel too bad for her. I'm sure she'll figure it out.
Only people who were trying to buy their tickets for next year, but she canceled that up.
Right. So hopefully she'll be able to do them later. But yeah, so I got a few, like, I worked on that, couple commercials, I think. And then after that, I guess I just started doing my own short films, like, so then I went to university. I got accepted into this very competitive program where they only accepted like 18 people a year throughout Canada. So I'm not sure what miracle happened for me to get in, but I did. And it was a multidisciplinary program. So it was not just filmmakers. It was like different artists, like performance artists, sculptors.
So it's only 18, and it's not all directors. It's just different.
As the only film person.
So even then, it's short. It gets shorter.
Yeah. Oh, and gosh. I loved it because it was like such exposure to like different art forms, Mm-hmm. And and I think at the end of the day, that's why I don't even have like that many like film friends. Like, I have a few, but I have like artist friends from like different, because I don't know.
That's where,
you also don't necessarily. It just like happens how it happens, right? Like organically, like the way you you and I, like, we just like met and we're like, oh, we're gonna be
yeah.
friends now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
no,
mean?
we like
It
people,
just happened.
we like totally like seriously, we were walking around looking at the art form, and it felt like I've known her for years. Like I literally felt like yeah, because when we first met initially at the coffee shop,
Right.
we were talking, and I was just like, wow, I'm vibing you like so
Yeah.
much, like it's awesome. And then we met again at the SFS festival and walking around. It legit just felt like I was with a friend that I haven't seen for years.
No, totally.
Even right now, like it just
totally,
feels so like good.
I know.
Yeah,
I love that.
When it hits, it hits.
Yeah, exactly. So I did. So I started doing my own films and like short films within this program, and I learned like Final Cut Pro. Well, I had like 5 classes. I'm like, I wish I don't know anything about anything. Like, I really now realize just how I'm just making things out of thin air. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even Premiere. Like, now I edit in Premiere, and I'm sure I'm not using half of
like
half
everything
of
that it has.
what's like,
entitled,
of course, you know, like but 2023, I'm manifesting an editor, putting it out there because I would love to not be doing it also. But yeah, so I just kind of started doing my own shorts, and then I did another student exchange, and I went to New Mexico for a year, which turned into 10 years. But and it was while being in New Mexico that my career kind of started, and I it's interesting. I was just telling somebody about this because I'm a mentor as well for like young people. It's an online platform in Quebec, and people from all over the province can write to like there's like a list of us like mentors in all different professions, and so people write to us about like, well, essentially those questions like, how did you get started? What's hard? What's easy? What do you love? What you don't like? You know, and somebody was asking me exactly about that, and I said like, it really comes down to your portfolio, your contacts, and how you distinguish yourself, right?
Totally.
So I was French Canadian in New Mexico. Not many of us down there.
No.
Like, you know what I mean?
No.
And then I had a portfolio for my own shorts that I had been making like, you know, in the previous years. And then the contacts were my professors. So while in New Mexico, in class, like I had 2 different professors like pitch me essentially to like a local, one of them was a local theater company, the other one was actually, no, they were both like dance theater. One was a bit more dance, one was a bit more theater, and they had been looking for a film director to do a couple short pieces for them, and my professor told them about me, and so it's like so crazy, like, you know. And then I did music videos, and I don't know, I just kind of started like,
it kind of sucks that it's true, because Nico, like, okay, seriously, I just been at it for like now 2 years just doing this, and people that meet me, really it is like your portfolio, for sure. You have to build your portfolio, and a lot of people, you need to know that sometimes you're gonna have to just do it for free,
for sure,
and
especially at the beginning.
That's how you started off, like you have to do free, and you gotta like,
and then you build it up portfolio.
Yep. And then people, you know, and that's a constant network, and talking to people, getting out of your, like, if you're not I think everybody has their own little ways of, like, you know, getting out of their shells and talking to people, but when you network, you really have to go out there, and on top with the networking is really they're getting to know who you are. So you have to come off now like a selling point. And I learned the only reason I have this approach with everybody I meet, they always say, wow, I thought you were doing this for like a long time, like you know about this, or they're just like, yeah, I feel so comfortable when I start meeting with you, and it has nothing to do with like this industry. It has to do what I did before, what I worked on, customer service, in the clinic. So having to see over 1,000 people with different behavior and personalities, I've learned to like, all right, I know how to like sit down and talk to people and kind of vibe with them. And that's the thing, you have to, it's all these things that you have to learn, your portfolio, networking, and kind of just people seeing who you are. Because we both met people that were just like, yeah, we're gonna avoid that person right now, it's like not cool, like I'm gonna walk away. Like don't come to me. Because it's true, like I hate to say this, but like I have the luxury to just be like, yeah, I don't want to associate with that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though it's like, oh, there's great opportunities to Wakas.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of don't want to do that, especially for women. So
totally.
No, I don't want to do that. But you do have to go out of your way to just like talk to people and tell them and see who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because obviously when I met you, you were amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A thing I learned recently actually that I don't think I've ever really realized until like literally a couple weeks ago is that also like the those contacts, right? Like they only really are, they're also site specific. So like, so that's made it interesting. So I've only been working for 1 year, like here. Like I've only been here for, well, I moved here January 2020 or February 2020 actually is when I got to LA. And then obviously there was, 8 glorious weeks, or not even 6 glorious weeks, and then it started.
All gone.
Yeah, exactly.
and then like it's all gone. You're like, yay! Oh wait,
right?
Like what happened here?
And then the visa offices were not. I mean, everything was closed, so I couldn't apply for work visa. Like it was a big situation, right? For everybody, stuck. But for me as a
no, you're stuck. I felt bad for people who like were in the process of doing all that stuff and they're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the process of having my older son. He's 20 years old now, but at the time I had to take control. Like I had to be his guardian after he turned 18, and we're in the process of doing it in the court. Yeah, we're barely gonna start now.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I know everybody. Damn, yeah,
but
it was a halt.
My point was just that, like, so the career I've built while I was in New Mexico, like, it, like, was great when I was there, but then when I left, it's like I left the contacts there as well, right? So, like, being here, I'm, like, learning, like, well, yeah, you have, even though I have 15 years, 16 years experience, like, you're actually are starting from scratch, kind of. And I was talking, the way this came up of me realizing this, and it's not even a bad thing, but it's a very humbling thing, though, at the same time, because it's like, wow, like, here I am again, But it's, yeah, there's a lot of positive to it, but I was talking to a friend that was telling me that, yeah, I think he had an accident or something where he was essentially out of service for like a few months or a year maybe, and so that when he came back, it was like, again, even though he was in the same locality, and that's more of a commercial kind of short project thing, like the second you say no, because oh no, that's right, he didn't have an accident at all. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. So sorry, Dan. No, he went and I forgot. That's right. He went and he got on a big shoot that took him out of town for like a year.
Whoa.
That's what it was. Because he just also had surgery, so I'm thinking about that. But no, he went out of town for like a year working on this big surf film. And when he came back, yeah, everybody had already found their new people, right? So there's just that. It's a very unforgiving business. I feel in that, maybe not unforgiving, but like
it's not unforgiving. It's
just I don't know what the right word is in English, but it's more like to say. Like, if you don't say yes, they move on.
You hustle. You have to hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the hustle means you just got to get on top of it. So if this ain't working, you're going to jump to the next one that's working.
And if you're not available, well, you missed your chance.
Yeah.
Like, so, and that's what true. I don't like about it. And that's what has motivated my decision to step away from, well, so originally I was doing like, dance film, theater films, a couple commercials, music videos, like lots of that. And then I moved to LA like 2007. I was just graduated. No, I wasn't. Was I graduated? Yeah, I had just graduated college or university. And I moved to LA. I was making stupid money. I was like, whoa, this is the life, But I think I just wasn't ready to be living in LA at that point. Like I had a big like issue with like, especially you're like 21, you're like, oh my God, like commercialism and like people are so superficial, like all the cliches, and I was really feeling it when I was 21.
What year was that?
2007.
Yeah, that's when it was like that.
Like, I remember walking on 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, and my friend was like, oh, I'll buy you a pair of like diesel jeans. And I was like, $90 jeans? Like, I'm not doing that. Yes. I just didn't want to buy in that. Now I'm like, you can buy me $90 jeans, no problem. But like, I think then I just was so like, still like very much in my like hippie rebel kind of phase, So I just was not ready to be here, And then I got offered this job as a director to direct a feature-length documentary. And then I left, and I was gone for like years, But that was great because that's what allowed me to like break free right away, if I can say, of like what could have been a very lucrative career, but not essentially what I wanted to do with my life, which would have been doing more of the short kind of projects, the commercials and all that,
No.
Just for not my reasons of going into film, but for a lot of people, that's exactly what they want to do. So it just depends. You know, there's like so many different ways you can go about it.
It can.
And there's no right or wrong. Like,
no,
it's just so different.
That's a good thing. There is no right or wrong.
Yeah.
That we just had a previous podcast, and Sid, she was talking about how, you know, she was the bass player for this musician group and this band, and they, for some reason, she was young, she was 18, and she was like very prideful, and she's like, I don't like how you guys tell me what to do, so she stepped away, like she literally just moved away from that. Then all of a sudden they become famous. And they start traveling and doing all that stuff, and she was just like, I remember thinking like, I fucked up. Like I could have been
or not
traveling.
Maybe it was the
no, until at like 10 years later, she's like, but I don't see it like that anymore. I kind of see it where if that young self was thinking about money and traveling and fame.
Right.
Fame and traveling. But if that's all I was going to be doing, then what else?
Right.
You know, I don't know where my mentality would have been at. I have no idea what I'd be doing. She's like, because that didn't happen, I had the opportunity to do all of this and grow.
Exactly.
And keep growing.
Right.
And I was just like, yeah,
I mean, I'm sure she would have grown traveling too, but it's just like, it's just different. And then again, not bad,
different.
right? Like,
and I told her, maybe imagine if you did stick with that, and that's like the 15-minute fame that you're chasing all the time.
Right.
You know?
Could have been a super unhealthy. I mean, who knows?
Exactly.
And there's kind of no point questioning it too, right? Like, I mean, I guess it's normal too, but also like.
Yeah, because what you were just saying kind of just
made you think of that.
just made me think of that.
Yeah.
Like, you're right.
Yeah.
You knew, like, when you reference back, you already know, like, you know, it might have been a whole different story for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, a whole different lifestyle.
Yeah, I just knew for me that's not the direction I wanted to go in.
What have you encountered? I'm sure you have, because you've done so much. Have you have moments, not to say, because it doesn't sound to me like you've ever had moments where just like, I don't know what I got myself into. Not that you haven't said that. I'm sure you've said like, I have no idea what I got myself into doing this. But usually when I ask this question, it's in regards of like, is this the right decision or career that I wanted to take? Has that ever entered in your mindset?
Once, like 3 weeks ago. That is it. Yeah, I've never questioned it until like literally 3 weeks ago.
Oh, so this came right on time. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah,
that is funny.
I mean, it's actually not very funny at all.
Because I have the
moment,
impression that you've never really like, this is what you're doing. You've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
You know, over a decade.
Yeah,
like
I know.
you've been doing it for a long time, and I would not think of you thinking of like, is this the right career path?
Yeah, no. Well, there's no choice. I mean, it's like that's also how it feels, and like. So my husband, okay, so I'm married now, which is very interesting. Married life is wild. I love it. But it's actually a huge catalyst for growth. Mm-hmm. And that's really what has prompted a lot of like those questions, is just seeing like those other ways of living. And like, he's a surfer. We are talking like opposites. Like, yeah, you could not get, like, he is the most incredible. He's also actually probably the most incredible artist I've ever met of all my travels around the world. Okay, like top 3, because there's a couple other people I'm like, yeah, those are also artistic geniuses, but like, he's an incredible artist, but he is choosing to not pursue it as a career. It's just really more like a lifestyle for him. And for me, it's like, I couldn't really separate it from what I just need to be doing this, you know what I mean? Like, so not to say I can't do something else, and I have, you know, like during the pandemic, I was doing translation. I've done translation for Apple as a French, so specifically French Canadian writers or translators. You know, I have no background in translation, but I can speak both languages pretty well. Yeah. So, you know, I did that. Like, it's not like I can't do other things, but but generally, like, my direction has always been this, because I would be doing it whether there's money or not. Like, it has nothing to do with the money. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, when the pandemic hit, we all did things that had nothing to do with what we're doing. Yeah, because we had to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think that's like, yeah, it's really like, I feel like being a filmmaker, it's like, this is gonna sound like so cheesy, but it's like, it's really a lifestyle. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it has, and you can make it not like that. But for me, the kind of films I make, the way I make them, it really is a lifestyle. Therefore, there's no way in which I could be like, oh well, that's the wrong decision, because that's just what comes out of me naturally.
I can tell you that's funny you say that, because I'm coming to that realization that this is my life.
Mm-hmm.
When before it was just corporate and clinical, and I was working to pay the bills,
mm-hmm.
to support my family.
Well, and you also have children.
Yes,
I do not.
But that's the thing.
Very
like,
different.
Even if I didn't have children, I still think I would be doing it because I have to support everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, versus get a job to pay the bills, you know, regardless of what it is. And, you know, if I tell you I was an optician and an ophthalmologist technician, has nothing to do with photography and directing and shit like that. And until now, I understand what you mean, that this is your life. Like,
yeah.
That's how I feel.
It's like you wake up in the morning, it's like that famous scene in Sister Act when Whoopi Goldberg asks Lauryn Hill what she thinks about when she wakes up, you know, like the Lauryn Hill character.
Yeah, it's starting to hit now.
Yeah. And it takes time too. I mean, but also because you came into it later in your life. It's going to go that much faster.
It's going a lot faster.
Yeah.
Because in my mindset, I'm just like, you know what? I need a hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make this happen. Like, okay, what are you passionate about? All right, push it. And that's it. And at first when I started the podcast and photography, I was like, I don't know, I felt like I was 50% here and not here. But now, waking up, like when I talk to people and they find out what I'm doing, it's your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa, that's your life. And what you just said right now, I was like, no, I understand it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel that now. Because I don't want to go back.
Right.
I don't want to go back. I want to move forward to this and make it happen. But what you said is exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I think it's
starting to feel.
Yeah.
But back awesome. To, you felt like you needed to change career.
Yeah, I just had
how did that happen?
I had a freak out. Actually, I had an actual like nervous breakdown. Like,
shit.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, like, I've had definitely like, I mean, as you said earlier, we all have stressful periods in our lives.
Yeah, panic attack, anxiety.
But this was like an actual like 3-day long, like could not, you know, and you know what it was? It was a mix of like postpartum. Like, so I had just finished this like major project that had been on the back burner for a couple of years, and then so right now I'm working as a creative consultant on 2 feature films, documentaries, and then I also have 1 feature and 2 TV shows. Mm-hmm. Plus, like I'm doing visuals for an artist in Tokyo, like for a concert, which is in like 4 days. So shit. That's what I'm doing tonight. Finishing the visuals for that, like, and then I have 2 short films. Well, anyways, there's like 8 projects or whatever, however many.
So by the way, I'm striving to be in her position later in the future, like, but also with photography.
Yeah. I mean, but like all those things, they're at different stages. Like some of those films are, you know, so the feature is written, and I'm putting together the like a treatment lookbook kind of right now. The TV show, one of them has the Bible is done. I have a 24-minute proof of concept / pilot shot for it. Then I have another TV show that has a deck, a script, proof of concept, you know. So they're all at different stages. Yes. One of them's already in festivals. The other one's about to go in festivals. Like, so it's not necessarily stressful because they're all at different stages.
Yes.
What is a little stressful is just having to manage all of that because I'm not. So like I said, I've been here for. So like I've been working for a year, like a year and a half. Like I got my work permit a year and a half ago. So I'm still very young, like on the LA market, you know, like of meeting people and like the whole networking thing. So I really hope like 2023, like to meet like good like business partners, kind of like producers.
Well, that's what you want to do.
Manager, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But till you get to that, then you're managing yourself. So I have girlfriends that are in the same situation, and we like talk every week, and we just like encourage each other. One of them just signed actually with Gersh. I'm so proud of her.
Oh, nice.
It's like you are self-representing yourself, self-managing, self-producing until not one day you're not.
Yeah.
But you like I'm kind of in that phase right now, you know. But the thing that happened is that like I was in New Mexico shooting. For that feature, it's with the Santa Fe Opera. So I'm working with the Santa Fe Opera on this feature film, and specifically it's with the it's for the Pueblo program that they have. So it's like the opera created this program to make sure to involve the Pueblo communities, the indigenous communities that live all around New Mexico, but specifically also right next to the opera. So I've been hired to work on that, which has been great. And I had just finished shooting there for 2 weeks, so that was amazing. Came home, and then I just kind of realized that, like, and you know, I'm still very green, especially for the industry side, but like it kind of seems like when you're pitching projects, it has to happen in like September, October, because then November, December, people are just like already in holiday mode, you know?
Yeah.
And in some, again, French Canadian, we don't have Thanksgiving. We don't do first of all, we have a date that says Thanksgiving on the calendar, which is a different, it's not in November, it's in October. Nobody celebrates it.
Yeah.
Not a thing. So like, for me, I was like, what do you mean November is like not a work month? But
it's not.
That's what my friends were saying. They're like, yeah, like don't even try sending emails.
Yeah.
So then when I found out, this is like early September, I was like, okay, so you're telling me that I have to like shoot my proof of concept for the TV show. I have to like shoot everything and edit and send it out within like, you know, 6 weeks. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to.
Like this podcast thing?
Yeah.
Like, I only reached out to a few of you guys just because I knew, okay, maybe, because I knew holidays are around the corner and I knew you guys would be available, especially you guys. A couple of you guys, I was like, okay, I know you guys are busy as fuck because of this, but I know the holidays are around. I might be able to squeeze you guys.
Right, because we're done.
And that is why I have you.
Totally.
And then I have 3 others that I've scheduled in December.
Nice.
For that reason.
Right.
Because if I get you in January, shit, I don't even know if I can get you in January.
I don't know where I'll be either.
But that was
you never know.
But that's true. Like, once November, December hits, I knew that I couldn't really fit. Because I don't think we did a lot in November. Did we do a lot of November? A lot of, like, did we... No. October was our busiest. And November wasn't as busy. October, damn, we did...
Craziest month.
Fucking crazy. Like, getting... Like, 1 week before we have to go to New York. And... I don't know, I think we did like 6 that week. 6.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like, I was like, I'm gonna meal prep so we can like eat here and do all this stuff.
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's true.
And you're so lucky you have each other. Oh my gosh. I love my husband so much, but sometimes I wish he was in my industry.
I am very fortunate like to have him because I'm new. Like, if you're saying you're new, I'm a fucking newborn. I'm just like, if you're saying you're new and you've been at it for like how many years now? 16.
Yeah.
And I barely hit like 2.
Yeah.
I'm fucking newborn. You know, you're a toddler. You're there to walk. You're ready to go. And I'm just like, I can barely breathe. But yeah.
Do you want to pause while you're switching?
No, because it's like mostly doing me, so he'll do that. I'm really happy that I have him because I don't know the full lingo, and I ask him, and I'll be like, "Hey, so what is this?" And then, or I'll be like, "Is this like a common thing?" He's like, "No, I've never heard of someone doing that." I'm like, "All right, cool, I'm doing it," because I'm the type who likes to break barriers. I'm the type that likes to break things and be like, "All right, cool, I don't care if nobody, I'm gonna do it." Like, that's how my heart is feeling, my mind. I'm gonna do it. But I love that he supports that, and I love that I can go to him in regards to this. Mm-hmm. Like, he is my mentor. Mm-hmm. Like, legit, he is my mentor. Mm-hmm. I can't move forward without having to ask him and be like, "So what do you think about this?" And he's like, "Well, you know." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna sit down and get a coffee and be like, all right, tell me." Right. What's going on?
Right. Totally.
But yeah, but it's great when you have that partner next to you.
I've never had that, so I can't tell you. But
I know, that's why I'm just.
But I love. I mean, I'm so especially if he watches this. My husband is like the most supportive person on the universe. It's just that like I can't ask him like, oh, I don't know, like my export took. So I just did this export. It took 26 hours to export 3 minutes of video. That is not normal in 2022, right? So then my husband, who was like, he's like trying to help. And then finally I talked to somebody else. And actually I sent my project to this friend, and he's like, man, it's your sequence. Something was off in my sequence settings. But like, this is like in film school, like when you exported a heavily affected video that was maybe 20 minutes. Okay, maybe that would take 20 hours. In 2022 with the MacBook Pro, something's really wrong.
Oh yeah, no, I shouldn't know.
Yeah,
but I remember he told me it would take that long, but that's because his computer was slow.
I mean, my computer is also slow, but like still, like
that's
it was not
slow.
even 4K anyway. So
Oh.
yeah, depends who you're. So you need to have your people for that, right? Like
Yes.
so, I'm starting to meet people to have people I can ask for like that kind of thing. But
Yeah, that's the thing about like Anthony says like his. Well, you say you love editing. You love to edit. So he knows, but he also has admit like if I don't understand something that really sucks because I'm trying to figure out why is this not working correctly, and I'm just like, damn, it sucks. Because for me, I just edit photos. I done the editing with my daughter, and it was like a minute and a half, and oh my god, it was so hard. So hard because I freaking used the Adobe, I used the Pro, like I used that, and I was just like, how the fuck did Anthony do this? Like I'm all like, okay, this is so different, and yeah, it's a whole different lingo. I would rather hire someone.
yeah,
I have him.
totally.
I'm like, I have you. I'm good.
No pressure.
There's a return. There's a return service here, so we're good. I'm not saying the camera, but you guys know.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's. I'm happy that he's there, but I know there are times where I'm just on my own and I have to like do it.
And it's good to be in that position too.
So
That's how you learn the most.
I know it is. So basically, since you had all of that under your table, that is a moment where you kind of felt like...
Yeah, I think it was just like I had just gotten done shooting, editing, and sending out the thing I said I was going to do in those few weeks, and I did it. But then, like, you know, obviously running myself pretty much to the ground, and it happens, right? After every big project like that, it always happens.
Yeah,
and
you're
so
thinning yourself out, like your energy, everything.
And and energetically speaking, like, you know, in Ayurvedic science, my sign is Vata, which is fire.
Your fire was diminishing.
Yes,
yeah,
and I live by the ocean. I am 1 block from the water, so I am, and my husband is a triple Pisces, like. And he's a surfer, so it's like, you know, like just like I have water coming upon me.
He's loving it.
Yeah, well, that's why he lives there.
Yeah.
And now I live there part-time, but it's like, yeah, it just gets a lot out of me. And I pretty much had a meltdown because I wanted to go in the desert, and I just did not have enough. My wits were not about me. I just didn't have the energy or the anything left. And I was shooting in LA for the Santa Fe film that Sunday, and I was like driving back to Santa Monica at like 11 at night, and I was like, okay, tomorrow we go camping. And then I got home and I realized like nothing was prepared for it, and I was like, my brain just short-circuited. And I just was like, I cannot live a day more without going, like, again, typical, but like going to nature. Like, not so much nature for me, it's like literally desert. Like I need that like light, that feeling, that smell, you know, because I lived 10 years in it.
Oh, so yeah.
So even though I'm not from the desert at all, but like it's like just really speaks to me, and I think I just really needed that. So I had a full-on meltdown, which is great because then it actually made space for, and like 2 or 3 like kind of changes came out of it, like very practical changes, but that were very useful.
Did you actually tell yourself like, is this worth doing this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shit.
I was like, oh no, absolutely. And I was like, should I just like give a shot at like normalcy and like get a job, like, you know what I mean?
Damn, that is
just like be a creative director, but like for an agency or something, like what
you're like normalcy.
Yeah, you know.
That's funny.
But then I was like, I don't think I would last a week, you know. Or maybe I would. Who knows? You never know.
You would last a week, but then you would know this is not it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I mean, you know, I had a period of my life where I spent 7 years back in Montreal, and I worked at a costume house, so that was like a job, but I still did my films so it was like a part-time thing, and I still did my film work on the side. But the thing is, like, it was a costume house, so it was still like the world of, you know, it was, I mean, I think it's okay, and in a way I can see how like structure really helps you, especially for people like me who are very like, I'm not like that grounded, or that definitely not business oriented enough, or do you know what I mean? Like I'm not like organized, or I mean I'm not bad, but like I could be a lot better. But it's just like there's only so much you can do, right?
Like I'm like that. I'm like that. Like I worked in corporate and did the organization.
You seem very grounded to me. I very much admired that energy from you.
No, I'm actually no.
But I think it's having kids too, because you have to eat at regular times and put food on the table and put people in bed, like the whole thing, which I can barely put myself in bed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's like you have common sense that I don't have. I think.
No, shit. If I told you stories, I almost stab it. Well, that's another story. With my heels, that's a story to say. But
I like it.
Yeah, I stabbed a chick with my heels.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was my early 20s, and I already had 3 boys by then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, girl. No,
Common sense took a break that night.
I agree with what you said, because I don't know if you're like this, where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a list, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna organize myself and do this. I can't stick with it. And throughout all these years, because we're about the same age. We're the same age. And I've always tried, and I realized that it's you really have to discipline yourself.
Worst things
especially
in the world.
people who really it's like a diet. You get on it, then fucking Cheetos. Shit, I'm out of my diet. It's the same thing. You get out of it. So I've always tried my best to like get onto something, to organize, to be disciplined about it, because it's different when it's your own life and then you're dealing with kids, like my children. That's completely very, like, for some reason my mindset can definitely go with like, this is what we need to stick with. But if it's personally me as a woman, no, I understand what you mean, because I try, and I'm just like, you know what, you're gonna keep trying, because you never know, it might stick, it might not.
And sometimes it sticks for a while. Like I remember, like there was one very short but glorious period of my life where I used the time blocking technique, and it really worked, and I got so much done, and I was like, wow, I found the way, you know.
Well,
and then after like a month, I was like, I'm over it, you know.
There's this app that Anthony got, this motivational app thing. What's it called? Like, it just tells you like stories every time you succeed something, or
it was a routine.
Okay.
Morning.
Okay.
Nice.
So he still uses it.
Yeah.
I tried, and I said, fuck this, I can't do this. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I was so impatient. One thing I have to say that I have stick with is calendarizing. Like, I just use my phone and calendarize everything.
Is that a word?
I don't think that's a word.
I love it. That's great.
I calendarize.
Okay.
So I use the Google Calendar, and I just put all my things in there, and I share with him.
Wow.
And I've noticed that he did if you see his, it's like, oh, it looks crazy. But I remember seeing his calendar, and I'm like, damn. He's like, this is the only way, because I see every day, and I see what I need to do.
Right.
So I have sticked with that for months now, and it's stuck.
Okay.
Where I go in there
Good.
and I just put in like, hey, if I need to call somebody, or if I need to do something with the kids, or I need to do something personally for me, or I need to tell him about podcasting, it's all in there. And that's sticked with me.
Wow.
Yeah, because I tell myself, okay, what am I doing tomorrow? And I looked at like the tasks that I've done.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. And I put notes. Like literally, if I make it, I'll take the time to just do something. Like, I need to call this gentleman, and I put the name of that gentleman, and it's a task, so it's a reminder, and then I put little notes to why I need to call him. And it's been working.
That's great.
And it's in my phone, and it's been working, because if I have my phone, my laptop, my computer, it doesn't matter, like I can see it.
I like that too, but half the time I look at it and I'm like, no, I don't feel like it. I'm just like,
see, at first I was like that at first,
but eventually
I said, okay, you freaking study psychology, you know it takes 21 tries or 21 days for you to get used to it. I don't think that's true.
I think it's more than that. I've done things for 6 months and then fell off the cliff.
So it's kind of true, but
maybe depends for what too, but for me it's not long enough.
Depends on like if you're motivated to do it.
Right.
That's the thing.
That's the key word.
But it is true if you do over 1,000 hours, or is it?
You're talking about the 10,000 hours to become a master?
Yes.
That's different.
So it's still applied to doing something like that.
For the calendarizing? I'm going to use that word now.
Yeah, for the calendarizing. Yeah, well, anything
after 10,000 hours of calendarizing.
Anything that you're trying to like be organizational, or you're just trying to do something and be doing it every day, you're going to have to, that works. That's a topic that I've talked to professors about. And they're like, yeah, if you do that, then yeah, it's ingrained. It's ingrained in you.
Have you read Outliers, where that came from?
Yes.
The Malcolm Gladwell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just did it, and I think it's because I needed something to structure so I can see both lives.
Yeah.
My family and business, and include him too, because I tell him like, you need to like send me too, because I need to know what you're doing too as well, back and forth, so I don't have to double book or anything like that.
Right.
And it's worked. I don't know. I think that's the only one thing that I have to admit that it's worked, and
That's
I
great.
stick to it.
Nice.
Because before I would like do that and then write it, and I'm just like, I stopped the writing. I don't write it anymore, so I'm just sticking.
Right.
I'm just gonna do it there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's worked for me. It's like totally worked. I'm really surprised that you had a moment of that. I'm still kind of shocked that you had a moment of like, I don't want to do this. Yeah.
I think, but like, not even kidding. Like, it was right around. It was like a full moon. There was like, I came to realize there was some astrological, like, planetary event at the same time, and like, I swear, I think there was a link, and also, like I said, it was really for it. It was really for a reason. I really believe everything happens for a reason.
Oh no, it does.
So
when you were mentioning about the like wanting to go to the desert, I'm a Leo, I'm fire, and you just thought, I just like, oh, no wonder I like the summer. No wonder I'm okay with the heat. No wonder I actually like the heat. I don't mind sweating and stuff. I actually like it. It makes me feel like normal.
Yeah.
I hate the cold.
Yeah.
I hate the cold. I'm just like, you have no idea. I really do not like the cold. I feel stuck. I feel like I can't move. I feel very boxed when I'm freezing, like physically freezing.
Right.
I feel like I can't think or do anything.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't motivate me to do anything, honestly. I'll be like, can you make me some hot chocolate, please? And I'll be like in the sofa.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally.
So that makes sense when you said that. I was like, I should do that.
But
desert.
That wasn't that was what I knew I needed to do, and I did not happen, hence the breakdown. But like, it happened a week later. We went to Joshua Tree, and then it was life was good again. but what did happen though from that breakthrough, and this is gonna sound like, again, kind of stupid and it's like
cheesy.
Yeah, and it's like this like seemingly insignificant thing, but like I swear like has made such an impact. You guys are gonna be like, oh my god.
Okay, what is it?
Signed up for frickin' HelloFresh. You can go get a sponsorship from them now. Like, I swear.
HelloFresh?
Changed my life. Because you know what the problem is? Like, I cannot, there's no time for food thinking. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to, like, you know what I mean?
I was
so,
like, wait, I think I...
Yeah, like the meal delivery thing.
The
like,
meal delivery.
You still have to cook the food.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean,
they're telling you, like, you just gotta do
there's
this.
no thinking involved. And that's where I, like, and we said that earlier when we saw each other, right? Like, I dress the way I want to feel that day.
And it's one less thing to think about.
But no, that's one more thing to think about. But the Steve Jobs thing, his whole thing was, like, wear a uniform every day. So he had, like, I don't know, 30 black t-shirt and 20 blue jeans or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that he would never have to be like, oh, what am I going to wear? For me, it's like, I have to think about what I'm going to wear because it has to fit, like, with my emotions or whatever, you know?
No, but see, well, then...
But that is adding to the plate. So the meal delivery, whatever thing is, like, it's one less thing to think about. Yeah. Therefore, more fuel to the creative world, which, silliest thing. And then the other thing I did, I went and got a separate storage unit for just my props and outfits for the TV pilot I'm working on right now, because I was like, I need so much help with like compartmentalizing that, like, having a physical like space that is just this film freaking helped so much. So like that came out of the breakdown.
Damn.
So it was useful.
Just like pretty much put it down. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. That's helping. Whatever.
I'm having total deja vu right now.
Yeah. That's so trippy.
Yeah. No, it was so like, it was good. It was really good. And I think just like some release and all that. And I cried and like did all the things. And then I was like, okay, and I'm back, you know? So, and now, I mean, I'm right after this, I'm going to shoot 2 more scenes for the pilot. Like I'm back in the, you know, it's going to be okay. It's a bit of a hectic end of year because I'm leaving in 4 days or whatever to go back to Montreal, you know? So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So lots need to happen.
That's a lot. You know, but you know what? It's worth it.
It's so worth it.
It's worth it. That's
and I'm so proud that like I'm at this place in my life where I finally get to like apply for those like fellowships. Like I just applied for like a women in film directing fellowship. Like there's a couple like that are the calls for applications and like this week. So I'm just like, because I finally feel like I'm at a place where like I've done the client thing and and it was great, and I learned, but like I'm ready to like move on to, I mean, I'm still working for clients, obviously, but like not as much. Like there are bigger projects that are not as like involved like all the time, like, so there's more of a spacing, which I really appreciate, as opposed to like what we were saying, like lots of like quick, like short, like hustle, which is very, very exhausting. Like it's amazing because it's like so fun and you get to do so many different things, but it's like really exhausting, and like you back to square one at every time. But so the big projects, it's more of a, like a long-term thing, so it's like not as draining, you know. But yeah, so anyway, so because I've made that move away from like the small like hustle, I've been able to like really focus more on my work, and so now I finally have like enough of a body of work of my own work, not client work, that I can really like apply to like those fellowships and all that with.
See, that's
which I didn't have like years ago.
That's good that I kind of want to take that from you, like where I have enough of my own work.
Yeah.
I remember I told you, I was like, I have enough to like for 2 years to like just do my own work and have that structure there. Yeah. That's nice. That's so nice.
And it's like,
and
then doing
step, you're due for your next step. You're due for your next hill to go cross over, because you already crossed over all these hills. You're actually, that's what it is. You're due for your next little hill to go over now, because all of these little ones, you've done it. I mean, making the move to narrative work, that was a big jump. Like that was just before the pandemic, and I made the move from mostly like avant-garde experimental short films to like, I'm gonna do a TV show, you know, like, and so first time like writing dialogue, first time recording people giving dialogue, like, you know, so crazy. It was a big jump. Yeah, because when we met, I had just barely mentioned to you about what I'm doing now. Yeah. And I was just like, I'm not sure exactly, I'm still gonna work on it. I remember telling you, like, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna work on it, and then the gallery and all that stuff, and then the more I don't know, I was working at the time still as an optician, and then I don't know, it just made sense to just like, all right, if you're gonna do it, go all in. Yeah. Like you're just gonna have to go all in. Right. So, yeah, you are like one of the motivational parts to it as well, to like why I need to push myself, because I see the stuff that you do, and I'm just like, that's exactly where I want to, like, that's the direction I want to go after, you know. I
think like, you know, something that's really important is like not only going with the projects that really speak to you as a person, like with your personal experience, but also like trying out like different genres, like, you know. So like I have this feature that I'm hoping happens next year, like, you know, is like it's a post-apocalyptic, like in the future, like it takes place in the future, so it's gonna be like very, and there's gonna be like a little bit like tongue-in-cheek like social commentary about like influencers, and I have like, I'm pulling from like Buddhist mythology, because I practice Buddhism. I've practiced Buddhism for like 22 years or something.
My sister practiced Buddhism. Crazy.
So I have like so the Buddhism I practice is Nichiren Daishonen's Buddhism, and I'm pulling from the Lotus Sutra, and like there's like those incredibly like rich like stories and like characters, like the Queen Mother of the West, and like just really, and the texts are written by a monk rather, that kind of like rebelled against the system, and sort of like was like, okay, like let's go down to like what was the real essence of what the original Buddha taught, you know. So he came up with you know, wrote a lot of treatises and how do you say, like a treaty, right? Like treatises? How do you say that in English? One treaty, two treatises?
What do you mean?
Like a treaty. Like if you write a treaty, like
like to make to
Treaty. So the plural of that would be Treaties.
Like treaties?
Treaties.
Yeah, but plural.
Yeah, treaties.
Yeah, treaties. Yeah.
One treaty, two treaties.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Learned a new word.
I was just like, wait.
So
no,
this Japanese monk like wrote all those treaties about like the true essence of, you know, Buddhism and all the things, and so he's got all those like wild like metaphors he's using and characters, and like the Council of the Forest Dwellers, and so I'm using some of that and pulling that in the film, but then with like hyper stylized, like futuristic. I have light painting in there. I mean, it's gonna be wild. Like, I'm so excited. And then I have my like 1930s like period, like drama, kind of like Peaky Blinders, but they're all women. I have this going on. Then the
That'd
other
be
one.
pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, that would be really
So you know
cool.
what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
point is like that's when I feel the best, is like when I'm pursuing what I love, but on top of it, like I'm making sure I'm listening to every part of me. So like I know you did this series where it was like 1960s style.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, okay, like that's one part of you, and then what else is out there? So like just make sure as you're doing all the different ones.
That's so funny you're saying that, because the projects that I have one is Zodiac and tarot cards. That's a shoot that I want to do.
Okay.
So it's zodiac signs and tarot cards. Zodiac signs, but in a tarot card format.
Nice.
And then I have a 1930 shoot too, where I just want to do women completely naked, but like in those lightings. You know, like how they used to do lightings back in the headshots. And then I want to do the 1960 again, part 2. Because unfortunately, when I did the gallery and I couldn't do it at the Pasadena location and I had to do it here, I didn't have enough room to actually show everything. So I'm slowly showing stuff on my Instagram, like on my IG. But I want to do part 2 around my birthday. So I'm going to get more models and a way bigger venue and just show off everything.
Nice.
Yeah, because I think I wanted to show like 60 pieces.
Oh my god, that's a lot.
And I only got to show maybe like 15 to 20.
Okay.
Like maybe 15. It was about 15.
Which is not always a bad thing. Sometimes like being forced to like
it's not
really curate what you're showing.
It's not. But
it's hard.
When I posted on IG, all the feedback I got from everybody from the stuff that I didn't show was like, because I knew I've showed him, and there's things that he's never seen, and he's like, damn. And I'm like, I know. So I'm because of that, I'm gonna go and do part 2.
Nice.
So I'm gonna search for more models and then just do a part 2.
And maybe think of a different platform where to show the 60 piece. You know, like.
Yeah. By then it should be good, because I'm doing in February a gallery in February, and then I should do another one in July, and then another one in October.
Great.
So definitely 3, and then I have 3 other projects that I want to do shooting. February is that color thing. That's where you see that foot thing. So I have, and then the clothing there, because I did a shoot where I just threw a bunch of paint at them. It's right here.
Oh, that there. Okay. Nice. Oh, nice. Okay.
So that is in February, and then the tarot and zodiac, that's another one to do. And yeah, it's funny, like back to what you're saying, like you have all these different things, and that's what it is. I want to create this whole thing. In the end of the day, I want people to see my artwork and see what I'm doing, and I also want to advocate about women empowerment and wellness. So it's 2 very different things, but they correlate with each other as well. So
totally,
that is basically, because I was trying to figure out, what is it that you're trying to do?
It's your modus operandi. That's great.
Yeah, I was like really thinking hardcore, like, what are you trying to do here?
Well, and I think it's also okay if you don't have an answer to that, by the way. Like, I mean, you already do anyway, so you're fine. I don't necessarily have an answer. I'm doing it because I feel like it. It's
well,
like just,
that's
you know.
funny. So the podcast is because I'm very strong feminist, and I really want to make a movement, and I really want this to be out there and people to see that we're not alone as women. And then the part of the photography and artwork is me, and it's like I really just want to do what I feel like. Whatever pops in my head, that's exactly what I want to do, and I want to execute it. And that's what it is. Like, it's both. Like, I know what I want to do with this, and then the other one is sort of like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's go for it. You know, let's see who we meet.
Right.
So that's how I feel right now, and I don't know, it feels amazing. It feels good to do something that you love and to push it.
Yeah, and to bring it to completion. I think it's so hard, especially that's the only generalization I will make about women, which is that we are naturally, not always, but a lot of us are good at multitasking.
Oh yeah.
Which means we take on more than we probably should.
Like you did.
Yeah, and then it also means that sometimes you don't bring anything to completion because you're juggling too many balls until the day that you drop them all because you have a nervous breakdown, right? So like, I mean, thankfully that has not happened to me necessarily, but it's more like, yeah, like there's definitely films that could have wrapped up like years prior that I just like, one day I was like, ah, and I just put it aside, and it took years before I went back to it, like, you know.
No way.
Yeah, it's very common. Like, also, like, it takes years for any project to get off the ground usually.
That's
like,
true.
So,
okay,
industry wise.
I want to say like, I guess the one good thing that I've noticed throughout my whole entire life, 37 people, so I'm 38 coming next year, so it's like 2 more years, 40, yeah, all that spiel. But I've learned that I'm the type who, if I start something, I have to end it.
Good for you.
And
wish I
even
was
though
like
it
that.
fucking hurts,
Yeah.
and I'm crying and I'm anxiety, or I'm happy and it's fun, I notice that if I say, like, if I tell you, okay, you need this, okay, so you need these clothing, all right, cool, I'll get it for you. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know. I just know that I need to get this as soon as possible.
Right.
And it's like it's how do I explain it? It's amazing, yeah. Like you said, yeah, it's great that you have that mindset.
Yeah, it's
it
a
is,
huge plus.
but it's a pain in the fucking ass. I can tell you that.
But it's what makes you do anything at all, which is
I
good.
know it beats the heck out of me. Like, it really does. Like, people don't know that. I tell them, like, I know who I am. Like, if I start something, I have to finish it.
That's great.
If I'm gonna put myself
Oh
in
my
that
gosh.
situation, I have to finish it. And I have to finish it quick. I cannot have it prolonging, because in the long haul, that's going to depress my ass.
Right.
And that is one of the good things that I like about myself. But in the same time, it's like one of the bad things, too, because if I don't complete it, I don't know how to cope with that completely. See what I mean by that? But that's why I said podcasts. You know, the short film I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, developing more, getting more galleries. I'm like, okay, if you're talking about it, you have to do it. You just have to do it.
Right.
It's like if I got the studio. Guess what? I got the studio not knowing what the heck I was going to do with it. But I got it. Because I knew if I put myself in this situation, then you're definitely need to, like, you need to think what you need to do to, like, make money for this place.
Right.
So I always been like that. And it's funny, my mom would say, Reyna, if, in Spanish, it's like, if Reyna quiere algo, ella lo va a agarrar. And so in other words, she's saying, if Reyna wants something, she's gonna end up getting it.
Nice.
Whether she doesn't care how, she knows she's gonna get it. And I didn't know that. She would say that when I was younger. I didn't comprehend it till now, which I was like, damn, even as a kid, I was stubborn. And I was like, no, I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna get it. But again, like I said, the con of it is, like, if I don't complete it, there's like everybody, like, it doesn't feel accomplished. You just feel like, oh, what did I fail today? So,
but sometimes it's just a matter of also it takes more time.
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's not that it's going to stay unfinished. Maybe it's just that you need to give it a little break and then you come back to it, you know? So there's that.
Yeah, there's that. That I have to learn.
Yeah. We're still growing. We'll be growing till we die.
Yeah. Ugh, that's annoying. Well, where can everyone find you?
So I have a website, which I probably don't update as often as I should, but it's still, you know, it does have a lot of my projects and different films, some BTS, and yeah, there's definitely, like, lots of material on it, and that's 851.com. So 8H, like the letter H, 51.com, which is, it means the time, like 8:51 a.m., you know? That's my production company. That's when I was born, like at 8:51 in the morning.
Nice.
And so definitely there. And then on Instagram, same thing, 851 _ Marie-Michele, MARIEMICHELE. It's pretty much the only, like, I have, like, a Facebook page, and I have, like, I think I still have, like, a Behance portfolio page, but, like, I'm finding it really hard. That another thing for 2023, we're trying to manifest, but, like, finding it really hard to update all the stuff, you know. Actually, and I have a Patreon. I should probably say that even first. I have a Patreon, which that has been great in keeping me accountable to sharing my work. So I don't know if you know Patreon. It's like a membership, you know, OnlyFans. Okay, so it's like OnlyFans, but without the connotations that OnlyFans has.
I was supposed to say.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So Patreon is like, it's like a membership based website. So people, like, it can be like $5 a month, or some people they charge like $2 a month. You know, like for me it starts at like $5. So $5 a month, and you get like all the content that I cannot post on social media or anywhere for that matter, like all my films that are in like either I've sold or they're in festivals or whatever, like you just cannot show them, but they're all live there because that's like a super private kind of club type thing. So then I share like BTS. I have like video of like me like talking about what I'm working on, like sharing the process.
How's that work? Like how's that been for you? Like using
great.
that?
It just makes me like, so I have some people that follow me, and then that makes me like be like, okay, like I have paying people that like want to see what I'm up to. So then I make sure that I obviously share what I'm working on, and then it also makes, yeah, it just like keeps me accountable, I feel, which has been great. And then I've met people through.
Can you send me that link?
Yeah, it's patreon.com. patreon.com, and then my handle is again M851 8H51.
I think I'll look into that.
So that's been really great. There's a lot of photographers, filmmakers, and people like there's people with like 50,000 followers. So if 50,000 followers pay $1 a month, you do not need to have a job. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
no.
I do not have 50,000 followers.
I don't feel dirty
but
either,
like,
because I'm not sending like foot pics or anything.
No, but that's the thing. It's like if there's people doing guitar lessons, or like one of the girlfriends I've met through Patreon is she's got a podcast about missing. It's a bit dark, about missing hikers. People that like all the people that
I've heard of that. There's so many missing
like a true
people.
crime kind of thing, but like specifically for hikers. So it's kind of like
there's like a
whole world.
I've been thinking about this podcast, but I also been thinking of doing like a journal, like video journals, and
like a vlog on YouTube.
But if I want to look into this, what you're talking about, because I might want to do something like that.
I mean, there's I think like finding the right platform for you, and then so I was gonna say earlier, like just finding also the people to help you with that, because I have all this incredible material that nobody ever gets to see because I don't have time to do bite-sized stuff.
I think it's time for you to have your PA.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're at that point where you need a PA.
Right.
Yeah.
Or a VA, a virtual assistant.
Or a VA. There is virtual assistants
right.
too.
Yeah, I know. It's just like finding the right person and all that. But I think it's going to really help.
I think you're in that point and you realize you're doing too much that you really do need assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Because right now we're both in it, but we're both each other's assistant.
Right.
So when he's doing videos, I'm his PA. I'm doing my directing photography. He's my PA, so that's there. But yeah, you're in that position where you need it. Yeah, you're gonna get it.
Thank you. And a beautiful space
get it next year.
Beautiful space like yours.
Oh yeah,
I love this so much.
No,
this
you're
is
always welcome to do anything you want. We're here in this space too.
Thank you.
Yeah, because we have a few friends that they want to do videos. I'm like, you guys are all welcome to utilize it. It's here, you know.
I love the lobby downstairs. I was like, this is right, because the TV thing I'm working on is 1930s New York.
Did you see
this
the
building
stairs?
Is perfect.
Did you see the stairs?
Yeah, I mean,
Did you look down?
No.
Oh, you have to look down.
Yeah, show me one night we get out.
Dude, you're gonna be like,
shit.
Yeah, because
my lead actor just flew to New York yesterday. I can't get him. Dang it.
No. Yeah, he did like the student film for the UCLA extension, and it was a 1950, and he used the building, and he used outside to like, because it has that New York feel to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's cool.
I'm gonna have to think of extra scenes to come and I'm aiming. There's this amazing festival I've been to. It's one of my. I've been to most of the big festivals in the U.S. and this one is my favorite. It's called Series Fest. Women-owned, women-directed.
No way.
It's just like incredible. I'm like I should be sponsored. Like I talk about them all the time. They're amazing. And I've gone twice. One time just as an audience member. The second time I was actually there. Women of the West, which was my first narrative piece, which was a TV pilot, was selected as part of their pitch competition. So I got to pitch to like somebody from like Warner Brother and like Fox, and I don't know, like it was kind of a big deal. So I got to go that year and it was amazing. Anyway, so the next deadline is coming up January 6th. So I'm like running. So I really want to apply and pitch my new TV show, you know, Witches of New York.
Shit, yeah. That's
So anyway, so
you're
yeah,
gonna
I
get
don't
it.
know.
I'll send the energy towards you.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
flying back on the 6th, so probably I would have to like have you shoot for me like remote or something. Like if I can think of something with this building, like it is perfect. It's as New York as it looks, like
If you
as it gets.
see,
Rather.
like, yeah, it is. That's what I like about it. And the basement has like an old vault, like bank vault and stuff like that. Yeah. This building's, and they don't mind us shooting and stuff like that's the beauty about it.
I've been looking on Pier Space and Gigster like all over for like 1930 and older. Anything.
This building's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure. But it's just like people, first of all, there's not that much available. People also like to say like, oh, this is Art Deco. I'm like, excuse me. This is Home Goods on steroids. Like, it's not like, you know.
Oh, God.
So I'm a little bit of a hater with that stuff because like my
No,
dad's a
you're-
museum curator. Like I'm not like a pro, but like also like
You're more welcome
I think
to, like,
sometimes people are like
use this place.
they try to make it more glorious than it is. You know? This is the real deal.
No, we also know someone that
Okay.
can actually look for your locations too.
Like a scout. Yeah.
Yep, she's really good.
Nice.
Yeah, her and her boyfriend or husband, boyfriend. I can't remember if it's her husband. Her boo. Her
Yeah,
boo.
partner. Good word.
I'm like her
Good
boo-
word
her-
when you don't know.
I'm like her boo is like they both do it. Like
Nice.
they both said she's part of the podcast, and I was like, dude, I didn't know you did that. Because she does that as her like money. You know, she's a musician and she does music videos but she does that on the side, and I was like, she was showing me all the like locations that they have hooked up on, you know, and I was like, I looked at him and I was like, that is something for you to connect because you're always looking for spots. So
Do you use Pure Space and Gigster?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we use Pure Space a lot. Yeah.
yeah. Oh.
When you find the right space, it looks like it. I just, you know, it's just hard to find the right. When you're looking for something so specific, you know, I had a really hard time with the 1920, 1930. Or maybe there were things, but it was just way out of my price range. You know, like
Yeah.
some of them are like $200 an hour, but minimum 8 hours.
Yeah.
And for
Oh,
me, it's
hell
like I'm shooting a
no.
short. Like I only need like 20 seconds in the space. Like
8 hours for minimum 8 hours.
yeah, a lot of spaces
And
are
you're
like
just
that.
I just need it for like 2.
Like
people.
yeah, exactly. It's like
Dude.
me, my camera, and one girl like on
You
a
are
desk.
more welcome to utilize this space
Thank
because
you.
that's
If I
the
ever
good
need
thing
out.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you came here and you saw the whole
I
spot,
know.
you're like, wait a minute.
I know.
Yeah.
When I pulled up, I was like,
Yeah, even if you want to come in and do like a rehearsal or a table read. Or
Cool,
something,
thank you.
Like that.
It's just the location that's hard for me because everybody is
Yeah.
out west. But you
Yeah.
never know. I mean, it's like if you have the right. Sorry, my phone is blowing up. It's making me a little stressed.
No worries.
Stand by 2 seconds. Okay, cool. She said okay because I was like to the actor. I was like, okay, meet me there at like 5. And then I saw that she texted, but I didn't want to like
No, I know what you
look
mean.
what you,
I
when
do
you're
that.
talking, and I
do
just now I was
that.
like, okay, she said okay, so we're good.
I that week that we filmed six episodes,
So
I was
stressful.
like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I just want to
Sorry, I
start
have to
with
run.
No.
Oh, I want
just
to take a
wanna
photo.
say-
Oh wait, I'm gonna do my behind the scene. Let me do
I just
my.
wanted to say, like, thank you so much for being here and, like, taking the opportunity
You're
to
so
do this.
welcome.
Because I know I'm a newborn.
Sorry, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, we're all. But that's the thing. That's the beauty of it. Like we're all newborns in one aspect. It's like even though I've been doing this for 15 years, like I know nothing. Like you know so much more than I do on so many things. Like. For sure, because we have, like, depending what project you worked on, in what capacity, what your role was, what equipment you had, like,
That's true.
I mean, I've shot 10,000 hours, for sure, but, like, on different cameras, like, on video cameras that don't exist anymore. Like, what were they called? Oh my God, DV tape. You know, like, the mini DV, have you ever seen the mini DV tapes? Yeah, exactly. Like you're too young for this. And you're not. I mean, you're not that much younger than me, but
I think I know what you're talking about, but I never used one.
exactly, because I think they like went out like 2008 was like towards the beginning of the end, but that's when I was shooting my first feature.
He was
So it's like just like so you would know so much more than me.
2008, he must have been 14 or 15.
Yeah, I was in.
He's young.
I was in 8th grade.
Like that
You
you
just
did the
made
math.
us feel
What year are you
old.
born?
93.
Oh, so you're 10 years younger than me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a
Well,
cradle robber.
Doesn't. Your energy is young.
But everybody thinks the opposite about us. They
That
think
you're the
I'm
older
younger
one?
and he's older.
Huh.
Yeah. They always think he's 33 and I'm like 29 or 30.
Wow.
And I'm just like, no. Like, no, I'm a cougar. Well, I wanted to say thank you.
You're so welcome. Oh my God.
I
hope it was okay.
so
I just
much.
we just
No
talked.
way.
normally.
No way. The whole conversation was fucking amazing.
Okay, cool.
I loved it, and I appreciate so much that you're here.
Yeah.
And that, you know, I want you to be, if anything, if I have any questions, I want you to be involved, like, with what I'm doing, the film for all the women crew and stuff. If I need guidance and stuff,
Yeah,
definitely
anytime.
love
Ask
to
me
talk to you
questions
about
for
it.
sure.
Yeah. But
Not like I'm gonna necessarily know the answer to whatever, but just like, you know.
no,
it's all a matter
I just
of.
thought of stuff that I'm like, I would definitely want to speak to you as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't want to talk to you, but as a woman, like, that's what I want to reach out to you in regards to that, because there are things that, like I said earlier, like, I'm be the head honcho, and when you have a lot of alpha women in the same room, you know, you gotta, like, snip it.
You have to just be really confident, which is hard.
Yeah.
But or not, depending.
Well, hard to not come off as a bitch.
Oh, that's okay. But I mean, oh my God, I'm pretty sure I must come across as such a bitch when I'm shooting. I
It's
feel
your
bad,
accent.
actually.
I think it's your accent.
But I think no, but I get real intense.
No way.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we poached like all our locations for Witches of New York. Like, I shot in the speakeasy. I did not have permission. I didn't like not have permission. I had come in first on a scout, and I had asked, "Oh, is it okay to get some shots in here?" They said yes. I did not expand and explain that my shots were more than just like me and my girlfriends like this, but they said yes. I was like, okay, good. I've got my verbal confirmation. You know, I was being a bit sneaky, and so I went back and I had 2 actresses with me. I had a Zoom recorder like hidden like under our purse on the bar, so that it was catch their sound.
Super
and I was
gorilla.
just like so gorilla, and I pretty sure I was like so short with the girls. Like, do it again. No, move. But just it was like, I'm like, at any second we can get thrown out.
That's true.
You know, and we didn't. And we also were buying drinks. Like, we're patrons of the place.
Yeah.
But I had my camera, and I was like, the girls are like in full like 1930 get up and like,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh shit.
But we got glorious shots. So I was so happy, but so stressful also. So I get really intense. So don't worry about that.
No.
And they'll know. They'll understand.
No. Yeah,
You know?
I've noticed. Again, working since I was 16 years old. So and management, women, all that stuff. I get it, but again, whenever even though I've managed and worked and done the whole schmill, it's different because it's a whole new platform. So
Right,
we'll
and I
talk
think that's
about
what
it.
it is too.
We're gonna talk about it. I'll call you up and we'll talk about it.
I sincerely hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Thank you so much for joining us and listening. Don't forget to like, comment, leave a review, follow us on socials, and subscribe because you won't want to miss the magic.